30,000 pounds of steel entering a ventilation shaft above 1,000 feet per second at 2 a.m. in contested Iranian airspace. 12 bombs down 2 shafts in one mountain. Each fuse uniquely programmed to detonate at a specific depth inside the underground facility. Most people assume the GBU-57 is simply the biggest bomb in the arsenal. But raw size was never the engineering point of this weapon. Built over 15 years for a single target, this is the weapon and the 36-hour night mission that finally delivered the strike. The GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrator is the deepest-reaching conventional weapon ever fielded, designed to strike what no other munition can threaten. It exists because the 2003 Iraq invasion proved that existing bunker busters could not destroy hardened underground command infrastructure. Existing penetrators reached 6 meters of reinforced concrete, while intelligence confirmed enemy bunkers were already buried 5 times deeper. Boeing received the contract in 2004 to build a weapon reaching targets beyond anything in the existing conventional weapons inventory. The requirement specified penetration beyond 60 meters of earth, then detonation of 5,000 pounds of explosive inside the buried structure. The casing uses Eglin steel alloy, a high-density armor-grade material machined to structural tolerances of jet engine components. At 20 feet long and 31 inches in diameter, the weapon weighs 6 times more than any previous bunker buster in the arsenal. Only one aircraft in the United States fleet has the internal bay geometry and the payload capacity to carry this weapon operationally. The B-2 Spirit carries 2 of these inside its weapons bays, and the full B-2 documentary is already live on this channel. Inside the Defense Threat Reduction Agency, one officer had already begun studying the specific target that would define this weapon's entire development. That target was a uranium enrichment facility being constructed inside a mountain in northwest Iran, and its designation was Fordow. A conventional bomb destroys through blast radius on the surface, but the GBU-57 operates on a fundamentally different engineering principle. It converts its 30,000-pound mass into kinetic penetration energy, driving through rock and concrete before detonating deep inside the target. The casing absorbs forces exceeding 50,000 times gravitational pull during penetration, without fracturing or deforming beyond tolerance limits. Casing forging alone costs roughly $380,000 per unit, requiring specialized dies that wear down after limited production runs. The casing holds a dual explosive payload of AFX-757 and PBXN-114 for confined detonation. Grid fins on the tail replace conventional surfaces, allowing stable, high-velocity descent and compact internal carriage inside the B-2 weapons bay. Guidance combines GPS and inertial navigation, but the most critical subsystem is the Fuze that tells each bomb when to detonate. At Fordow, each of the 14 bombs carried a uniquely programmed Fuze with its own impact angle, arrival heading, and intended detonation depth. The Fuze reads structural layers during underground travel, detecting voids between concrete floors and selecting optimal detonation depth in real time. The kill mechanism is not surface blast, but overpressure waves ripping through the tunnel network inside the buried facility at speed. 7 variants have been produced since the original design, with each upgrade responding to intelligence about evolving target hardness. 4 enhanced threat response upgrades were validated through live weapon drops at White Sands, with the final round completing in 2017. The Smart Fuze was validated in 2020, with performance testing through 2022 to refine underground detonation accuracy. One DTRA officer spent 15 years on Fordow's geology, ventilation shafts, and every component entering the mountain complex. Every weapon upgrade responded to what that officer discovered about the evolving material composition of one single facility. If the engineering behind strategic strike weapons interests you, subscribe to this channel for one system and one documentary at a time. The real crisis began after Fordow. 14 weapons in one night, and Boeing replacement deliveries do not start until 2028. Each unit costs $3.5 million, with Boeing receiving over $100 million to replenish what the Fordow strike expended. Boeing holds sole source production authority, meaning no other defense contractor on Earth can manufacture this weapon or its components. Air Force documents called this replenishment critically needed to restore operational readiness and support contingency plans. Operation Epic Fury launched in 2026, and B-2 bombers dropped the GBU-57 against underground Iranian command infrastructure. A weapon designed for rare strategic use was employed twice in a single year, burning through operational stockpile faster than anyone had planned. The Fordow sortie alone covered 13,000 miles in 36 hours, requiring dozens of tankers and over 125 aircraft. 125 aircraft supported that single mission, including fighters, tankers, a guided missile submarine, and a full surveillance package. The Joint Chiefs Chairman stated directly that no other military on Earth could have assembled or executed that mission at that scale. The only option for deeply buried targets is a nuclear weapon, and the political cost of authorization exceeds any conceivable amount. The GBU-57 keeps the nuclear threshold higher, holding space between diplomatic pressure and an authorization no president wants to consider. Every dollar in this program is a dollar spent keeping a conventional option alive for targets that would otherwise require nuclear authorization. A next-generation penetrator is already in development, lighter and compatible with both the B-2 and incoming B-21 Raider. Until replacement arrives, the deep strike mission depends on one weapon, 19 aging bombers, a shrinking stockpile, and a single base in Missouri. On June 21, 2025, B-2 crews at Whiteman Air Force Base received their orders without being told where they were going. At midnight, the main strike package launched east, while decoy B-2s flew west toward the Pacific in a deception known to almost no one. 7 B-2 Spirit bombers flew 18 hours east in radio silence, refueling in flight before reaching Iranian airspace undetected. Fighters swept ahead, launching 30 suppression munitions at Iranian air defenses, and not a single shot was fired at the incoming B-2s. At 2:10 local time, the lead B-2 released its weapons on the first ventilation shaft aim point at the Fordow mountain complex. On each shaft, the first weapon blew the concrete cap open, and 4 more bombs drove into the exposed opening at terminal velocity. Weapon 6 on each shaft was a flex round, programmed as backup coverage in case any preceding bomb failed to function operationally. All 12 weapons struck their aim points at Fordow, and every single bomb detonated inside the mountain exactly as its fuse was programmed. A trailing pilot said the detonation was the brightest explosion he had ever seen, describing it as looking like daylight in complete darkness. 2 more weapons struck Natanz, and 30 Tomahawk missiles from a submarine hit Isfahan, completing the strike across 3 nuclear sites. Satellite imagery showed large craters on the ridge, gray ash across the mountainside, and tunnel entrances blocked by debris and collapsed material. The bombers returned west across the Atlantic, landing at Whiteman 36 hours after departure, in the second longest B-2 mission in history. Controllers thanked the crews on open radio as the B-2s crossed into American airspace, returning to Missouri after 36 hours airborne. 15 years of intelligence, 7 upgrade cycles, and $500 million of investment reached operational validation in a single night. The Joint Chiefs Chairman stated publicly that no other military in the world could have assembled or executed an operation of that scale. Operation Midnight Hammer confirmed what defense planners had theorized but never witnessed. The underground is no longer beyond conventional reach. 7 of 19 operational B-2 bombers flew that mission, consuming 37% of the entire deep strike fleet for one target set. In 2026, Epic Fury followed, with B-2S dropping the GBU-57 on an IRGC bunker inside Tehran. A weapon designed for rare strategic use was being consumed operationally against command targets, depleting a stockpile that cannot be rebuilt. Boeing's sole source deal exceeded $100 million, and replacement components are not projected for delivery before January 2028. The B-21 Raider is still in early testing, carrying only 1 GBU-57 per sortie versus the B-2 Spirit's 2. Matching the Fordow strike volume with B-21s would require double the sorties, doubling tanker and escort demand for an equivalent deep strike mission. A Midnight Hammer planner told Congress that if she wrote the procurement list, the first 100 items would all be aerial refueling tankers. America's tanker fleet averages over 63 years of airframe age, and deep strike missions consume tanker capacity across entire theaters. Against a peer adversary with dozens of hardened underground sites, the math between available bombers, weapons, and tankers simply does not balance. Adversary nations watched the Fordow strike and began building deeper with harder concrete, dispersing infrastructure across more underground facilities. But the deeper response did not come from concrete. China was already building the aircraft engineered to take the airspace away. The GBU-57 matters most when it stays unused, because its strategic value lives in the credible threat of depth and operational reach. That deterrent holds only while America owns the airspace, and China just unveiled the aircraft built to take that monopoly away. China flew the J-36 prototype in December 2024, and the fighter built to lock America out is next on the channel.